Everyone tells skinny fat guys to cut. No one tells them that they'll look the exact same, just smaller and softer. That is the part that most guys do not expect. The scale moves, so it feels like progress. But then you look at the mirror and you still hate what you see. And that's because the actual problem is not just body fat. The problem is body fat on a frame that has no muscle. So if you cut harder, you might lose weight, but all that will do is reveal the weak structure you have underneath. Now, I'm not saying cutting is bad. I am saying that cutting is not automatically the right first move just because the first thing you notice in the mirror is your belly. Your stomach does matter, but it is not the main decision maker. And that's because the goal is not to get smaller. The goal is to build a body that actually looks different. The problem is that most guys take Recomp as, I will kind of eat better and try to lift harder. That is not Recomp. That's just you hoping that your body figures it out. What Recomp really needs are real targets. So the first 3 core fundamentals you need to understand are, you need to consume 0.7 to 1 grams of protein per pound of body weight. Your calorie intake has to be within 10% of your maintenance calories. And at the gym, you want to do 5 to 8 reps per exercise and make sure each set is close to failure. And that means training like you're trying to build muscle, not do cardio. And the truth to why most skinny fat guys never manage to keep this consistent is because of a packed schedule. And that doesn't mean you need a perfectly planned routine, but busy weeks punish vague plans. If protein depends on whatever happens at lunch, Recomp falls apart. If training quality depends on how much energy you have after work, Recomp falls apart. If calories are just, I think I ate well today, Recomp falls apart. So yes, Recomp is the move, but only if it is structured enough to survive your busiest day. The first thing that breaks structure for skinny fat guys is emotionally reacting to every weigh-in and mirror check. One soft mirror check turns into cutting harder, one flat gym session turns into eating more, and the confusing week turns into you trying to change the whole plan. That's how 99% of plans lose all direction. The problem is, you are not giving your body enough signal to actually start showing you changes. If you change your meals before they become consistent, or your calories before your body actually knows what's happening, or your training changes before the reps actually become productive, that will throw any progress out the window. And if you're someone who has a packed or inconsistent schedule, it becomes even worse. The work stress, the late meals, and the inconsistent training already make the week full of fluff. So if you start letting a single weigh-in determine your whole plan, you honestly have no hope. The truth is, a proper recomp is not judged by every single morning. It is judged by consistent weekly inputs. Protein close to target, calorie close to maintenance, and training close to failure. That is what most busy skinny fat men ignore. They want the results of a good recomp, but continue making cut or bulk decisions based off one emotional check-in. So remember, do not let one bad weigh-in rewrite the whole plan. Change them based on the whole trend. Not because you feel impatient, not because of a weigh-in or a mirror check. For recomp, your calories should generally sit between 10% of your maintenance calories. That gives you enough food and protein to build muscle while also losing fat. But if you're unsure whether you should stay at the higher or lower end of your 10% range, some general guidelines you can use are, if your weight is dropping fast and you feel like your lifts are getting worse or are stale, you should probably increase your calories. Instead, if you can see your weight climbing fast along with your waist, your calories are probably too high. But if your weight is stable, protein is high, and training is improving, your calories are exactly where they need to be. And that's why I continue saying that one check-in is not enough. You need a weekly average. You need to see your waist. You need to understand your gym performance. You need to know if you consistently ate protein close to target. Because if 2 or 3 of those factors are pointing in the direction of high calories or low calories, that tells you that you need to adjust. But if they're mixed, keep the plan steady and collect more data. That is how you stop guessing and actually see results. Don't get me wrong, the scale does matter, but don't let it be the boss of your whole plan. What does choose the plan is your starting point. Because 2 skinny fat guys can both need a recomp, but just different versions of it. If you are belly dominant, the recomp needs to stay tighter around maintenance. Give it time, build muscle while you're slowly losing the belly fat. If you are under muscled, the recomp will need patience. Cutting harder will not fix the look. You need to build muscle while letting your body fat slowly decrease. And if you are inconsistent, you probably just need a steadier, simpler plan that you can stick to on your busiest days. Because if your protein, your calories, and your training are all random, you don't know what's working and what's not. That is why the first phase isn't just a label. It's a version of your plan that properly matches your starting points. The goal is to pick the recomp plan that will do you best and that you can actually repeat on your most chaotic and or busiest day. The reason most skinny fat men fail the recomp is because the plan is made for the perfect days. That is why the next step is not making the plan flashier or more impressive. You want a minimal viable plan. A plan that works when a curveball gets thrown in your day, when the day gets messy, when lunch gets pushed, or when training time gets cut, or when dinner isn't perfect. That is the recomp plan that most busy guys actually need. Or not the most optimized training split or meal plan or check-in routine. You need the smallest, most simplest version of the plan that will still get you results. A protein, training, and check-in default that you can still hit on your worst days. And if you don't know how to figure that out, I have a completely free nutrition plan generator that is 100% tailored to you. Through a 60-second Q&A, it will give you meals and calorie targets that will get you the best results. There's also a grocery list, different type of meals for different types of days, everything you need. So there's no thinking behind it. It's literally plug and play. So all you have to do is take your favorite meals, make them daily or in batches, which I recommend most. And just like that, you've made your minimum viable meal plan, meaning you've locked in one of the most complicated fundamentals just like that. Run that, you'll see what needs to be adjusted, and quicker than you'll imagine, you will finally achieve your dream body.